Hey everyone, and welcome to Cool America Live, where headlines meet heartbeats. Hosted by yours truly. We go beyond the red carpet and behind the scenes with your favorite stars, artists, and icons. From rising talent to Hollywood legends, we ask the questions others don't and get the answers you didn't know you needed. Unscripted, unexpected, unforgettable. This is Cool America Live.
Cool.
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Vetterell with Cool America Magazine, and today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with the incredibly talented Victoria Broom. Whether she's commanding the screen in roles that challenge, surprise, or empower, there is something magnetic about the way she tells stories. Fierce, grounded, and deeply human. Victoria, thank you so much for making the time to chat with us today. I have followed your work, and what always stands out is how emotionally present your characters feel. So, we're going to ask a few questions about the craft and a few personal ones if you're up for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me. So, yeah, that was a nice introduction.
Well, thanks. You are absolutely wonderful and talented. So, I'm very excited to get to know you a little better. Um,
Super.
your roles often reflect these beautifully layered, emotionally complex women. Do you find those characters or do they kind of find you?
It's I would say it's a mix because I've been in the industry for such a long time that I'm in a position to say no to roles that just don't connect with me. But I'm not really somebody that is drawn or wants to play kind of one-dimensional characters. I'm very much about multifaceted women, multifaceted roles, and there being quite a lot of depth, like emotional depth to the character. And because we all have, like very unique experiences in life, and we're the only ones that live those experiences, every actor sees a script and a story and a character very differently. So I use a lot of my own experiences in life to bring those characters alive, really.
I love that. And when you walk away from those characters, do they stick with you? Like, is there a line or a moment that kind of still lingers even after the cameras had stopped rolling?
There's the, there's a role, and it wasn't actually on screen; it was on stage. And I think any actor that has ever played this role will always stay with them. Um, so I was Desdemona in Othello years ago, and that is a very challenging, emotionally draining, physically draining role. Um, you're dying every day on stage, So it'd be very different in on television, but that is a role, considering it was probably 17 years ago that I played her, that stayed with me for a very long time because I lived in that character for the whole run and I struggled to come out of it when I was home. So I learned a lot from playing her and how to disconnect from emotionally challenging roles. But during that time, I didn't have that skill. I didn't learn that skill. So I learned a lot from her. Yeah.
Wow, that's like I loved hearing that. That's very inspiring, and I love Othello, so I can totally see where you're coming from. That's
Yeah.
really hard. Wow. So you've speaking of those like grounded and raw roles, you've had some of them. So some, but you also had some that live in more supernatural spaces. So is
Mhm.
there a realm in the industry that kind of still scares you to step into as an actress?
Um, I actually think if you're slightly scared of stepping into a realm as an actor, you should do it. Because I think it challenges you and your perceptions and your vulnerability. And I think that's a good thing for an actor. And yeah, I mean, I've done all of the genres. And I love them all for very different reasons. I mean, in kind of supernatural sci-fi, horror, all things like that, you're very much there's nothing there that you're afraid of. You have to imagine all of this in your head, and that's a challenge in itself. But I wouldn't say I don't like painting the same picture twice. So if something scares me,
Mhm.
I'm more drawn to it, if
Yes,
that makes sense.
it does. And wow, I can totally understand why, it just shows so much of as you like of you as an actress and a person that you're willing to take those challenges to
Mm.
better yourself. I just think that's incredible. Um, so if somebody gave you full creative freedom, so
Oh.
anything that you want, what is a film or a series that you either would reimagine with your own twist or create yourself?
Oh.
Challenging.
Oh, okay. So two automatically, and I'm not sure why. I haven't seen these films in years. Why they spring to my head. But so I'm like I love survival and disaster films. Like I just love them. I geek out with them. They're kind of my go-to. I just love them. So like Castaway, I think would be an amazing film to take on and challenge. It was Tom Hanks
Mhm.
like for the whole film, really. But we've not really seen anything like that with a woman character and the complexities that kind of come with that. And I think, and the challenges that would come with that kind of physical strength and things like that. And I just think that would be quite a nice twist on a disaster film. Um, but also another film that kind of, I just remember it from when I was younger. Do you remember Tank Girl? Do you remember that film,
I
Tank
do
Girl?
actually, yes.
So I just remember, I don't know why that came into my head when you asked me that question, but I just remember that being really like it was in the like 1995 or 1993 or something like that. And I just remember it being quite a standout post-apocalyptic badass woman that was kind of taking charge. She was queer, she was kind of gender non-conforming. She was just this she oozed this like um strength, I think is the word. So maybe a reimagining of that because that's not actually being done yet.
It
Again,
really hasn't, come to think of it. And I really don't know why, because it is powerful.
right? It is powerful, and I think it was kind of like way before its time. Like
Yeah.
that female character was
Mhm.
way before its time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so they're very different. Castaway and Tank Girl,
But honestly, I feel like you would rock both of them out,
right? I
especially
feel like I
Tank
would.
Girl. I would definitely pay money to go see that.
Yeah,
So, uh,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that is not something I ever would have expected, but I am
right.
so glad that you put that in my head because
Yeah,
now
because
as
I have
someone,
like martial arts experience as well. Like I used to do kung fu at quite a high standard, and I would just love to bring that into that kind of badass role.
yes,
So yeah, so that excites me. I'm quite excited by that.
I think it's incredible, and I just wish I just need to know who we have to talk to get this done. So,
Right? Well,
yeah,
yeah, it needs to happen.
it really does. Okay, so switching gears a little, outside of acting, what is something you're surprisingly passionate about?
Um, So I'm passionate about so many things. I'm passionate about things and I'm geeky about things. So I'm really passionate about kind of two charities that I do quite a lot for. Um, so the Stroke Association and Bloody Good Period. Now the Stroke Association is what it is. It's a British charity that funds money into research for stroke and the recovery and what causes stroke and things like that. And then Bloody Good Period is a charity, again, based in the UK that is removing the stigma against period poverty. So for those menstruating people who can't afford period products, it's about kind of getting that voice out there to get those products for free. So and to just to remove the stigma, like if there are children at school that can't afford those products, then they should be able to go to a counselor or somebody and say, we need help with this. And it should just be given to them. So that's what I'm super passionate about. I'm really passionate about lesbian and queer female visibility within the media and those stories being told. Um, yeah, so yeah, I'm passionate about quite a lot of things.
Well, I have to say, I was actually going planning on talking to you about that because this I did notice about the stroke association, and I have to say, that really resonates with me because I actually had a stroke myself. So
Wow.
it hits me very
Yeah.
deeply. And I mean, so on that note, what really inspired your connection to that cause, and how has it like shaped your perspective a little?
So what's so interesting about that, I think probably people that watch this back will look at you and go, "Oh, well, that
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that." Because a lot of people in people's heads, it's very much an older thing.
it is.
It's seen as an older thing that happens later in life. Well, that's not true, as you know, and I want to raise more awareness around that and why it happens and kind of the recovery process. And the reason that I'm involved with the Stoke Association is because 13 years ago, my gran had a stroke. And at that time, there was nobody in my family or anybody we knew that had ever suffered from a stroke. And all you see on the news and in the media and reading about it is the physical side of things. One of the sides of you doesn't work properly, and there's that kind of recovery. But nobody ever spoke about the depression that follows post-stroke. And witnessing somebody who I love
Right.
go through that, the frustration, the depression, the sadness, the change in the person completely. I contacted the Stroke Association and I was like, you need to give me some more research on this. I need to understand what we should be doing as a family to support my gram. Um, so with this kind of the speech and the physical side of it, there are exercises that you can do, as you know, as I'm sure you know. And I did a speech therapy course many years ago, um, like a language and speech therapy course. So I used some of those exercises to help my gran regain her speech. So it really comes from my heart as to why I support the Stroke Association. And what I do for the Stroke Association is they hold like annual conferences for like people that fund their research, and I give my time for free and I host it for them. And yeah, and I introduce the guests and things like that. So that's why I'm passionate about it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for the work you're doing because you are absolutely right. I mean, mine affected me physically, but I am extremely stubborn. So I got over that pretty quickly. But the mental stuff the mental deficits are still
Yeah.
there because it was only 2 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
my grandmother actually passed away from a stroke too,
Mm.
a long time ago. But thank you on behalf of everybody for bringing attention to this because
Yeah,
you are right. There is not a lot of information and there is a very big stigma attached to it. So
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. And that just shows, the kind of person you are and the strength and the compassion. And honestly, I just find that to be so amazing for somebody that's, in your position too. It's wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
So switching gears now, do you have any quirky pre-audition or on-set rituals?
Yes, I
Love it.
do.
I'm ready for
Um,
them.
oh, it's so funny, and it's so funny if people want to go out and kind of celebrate like post first day or whatever, because I'm very regimented in my little routine. So I like to start on set with a complete clean slate. So what I do the night before every shoot day is, and if you're on a shoot for months at a time, I end up, you'll see. So every shoot day, so the night before I do like a wind down because
Yeah.
you have to get rid of what you've just filmed and what your character and what you have just experienced on set. So you kind of have to start afresh every day. So I do this whole like switching off, a total like luxurious body scrub with a face mask and a hair mask and in a very fluffy kind of towel robe. And I just have that switch off moment of my phone is off, I light candles, and I just and I just have me time, and I do that every single night.
Sorry.
Um, which is nice, and I have great skin afterwards. But it is something that I'm quite regimented on as well. And then in the mornings, I have a mindfulness routine that I do as well, and I light a candle, and I kind of do like a humming thing to cleanse my vagus nerves and all of that type of stuff. So I really arrive ready to take on whatever is happening to my character in that day.
I think that's awesome. And honestly, I might have to adopt that even without roles. So,
I
because
know
if
my skin and I feel so relaxed. But I had to learn to do something because
right,
remember I spoke to you about playing Desdemona.
yeah,
I had to learn to just take her off. And it
right,
took a long time. So I have this, sometimes it's a lot less than that because, if you're filming for 12 hours and then you've got to get up and things like that. But I do, and in the mornings I move my body. As soon as I wake up, I have natural light, I move my body, and it just gets everything kind of going and working.
right. And honestly, I feel like that reset is just so important for everything, your physical and mental health. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely, especially in roles like you had said that were so challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your younger self walked onto set with you today, what would she be most proud of? And also, maybe what would she remind you of?
You can do it, I think is a, I've never known my life without thinking about acting and kind of
Mhm.
it's always been there since I was very young. There's nothing else that I've ever wanted to do or that I've done. Um, but I think yeah, that little thespian, um, just knowing, you've made it through. You're right. You're doing okay. I think that's the best. You're doing okay. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Totally. So you're so authentic and genuine. How do you kind of protect that, especially in a time where everything is so performative and curated and kind of in your face all the time?
Yeah, I'm very strict with, especially with social media. I'm very
Yes.
strict with my private life and my work life because they're two completely different things. And I am a very private person and away from the acting world, which can be artificial at times, I'm actually quite shy. So I do. There are things that I like to escape the city and be in the country, go for walks, be outside a lot. But no, I am very strict with personal and private. I talk about things that I'm passionate about
Right.
because that's just me. Um, but my private life is kind of, I do keep them quite separate.
Yeah. I think that's also really important to protect yourself
Yeah.
from that too, especially in, society sometimes because with social media, like you said, you're literally everywhere all the time. So,
Yeah. But you can choose to not be. And that's the thing is you make that choice. And I've made that choice to switch off.
yes,
You know?
definitely.
Yeah.
What is something the industry still gets wrong about women-led stories? Because, like, I loved hearing your thoughts on the Tank Girl because I just think it was so incredible. But I know that there are a lot of things still in the industry that maybe not everybody's aware of with, the challenges with the women-led stories and things that they're not really opening about.
I think they can sometimes create roles. It's not all the time. I think it's a lot better than it
Oh, it
was,
definitely is.
especially the ageism in the industry as well. I think that's a lot better and seeing more um, post 40, post 50, post 60
Yes.
um, female actors in
Mhm.
leading roles, I think is really important because if you look at our counterparts, if you look at the male counterparts, most of the roles are 50 plus,
Right.
and they're in the leading roles and they're leading films. And I think that's changing. I think we've still got a way to go with the ageism in the industry. And that's kind of universal. That's all over the world, I
Oh,
think.
for sure.
Um, but moving away from stereotypes as well. It's when reading scripts, it used to be uh pretty, hot, skinny, tall, like it was very physical. It was very, a woman is this, whereas a man is all of these other things. He's got this, he's got this, he's got this, whereas it was very physical description of women in scripts. That's changed as well, which is very important, and it needed to change. But I think we're going a really great way, I think. So more of that.
I agree with you completely. I think that all of those things kind of encompass, what's really important. And I do agree with you that it's definitely changing. So,
Yeah,
and women like you are forwarding that change. So, again,
thank you.
thank you. If somebody is watching this and kind of thinking, I really want to do what she's doing someday, what advice do you think you would give them?
Um, watch people. Watch the people that you admire and want to be like, and see what they do, watch their work, learn from them. That we've always been, this is the thing, is we've always been told as young women about competition, and there's another woman is competition, and in the acting industry and in the musical theatre industry and in the dance industry, that's even heightened more than normal. Like it's very much like, oh, there's only one person for this role and you're constantly competing against other women. You shouldn't see it like that. There are enough roles for everybody. And I think, look and look, why did they get that role? Okay, so they did this, right. And then learn and grow from it, rather than feeling jealous. There's no Jealousy is the worst thing. And Instagram is the worst feeder of that, and other forms of social media. And I just think, really watch and observe and learn and take notes, and know your stuff. Read books, read about the veterans, read about the biographies of these actors that you love. And that's it really. And I still learn. I'm the show that I've just done recently, Jack Wright, it has these veterans of actors in there, and I'm just in awe, and I just sit back and I watch, because that's important. You learn so much, and you should never stop learning as an actor.
I absolutely 100%. All right, so I'm gonna have a little fun.
Oh,
I love this question, and I'm not even sure why, but it's like my quirky little question.
okay.
Okay, so out of all the characters that you have played, which there's quite a few,
Okay.
which one would you absolutely not want to be stuck on a desert island with, and why?
Oh, okay. Right. Who would I not want to be? So Fran, I would say, in a series that I did called Different for Girls. She was all over the place. So she had this amazing, incredible. So for me as an actor, it was amazing because she just had this wave of different kind of characters that were in her, that came out. But had she had major addictions. So be it to sex, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, the whole thing. I wouldn't want to be stuck on a desert island with somebody that has those those things. And she was very tightly wound up, and she had quite a lot of trauma that um really, she had quite a lot of demons that she didn't know how to deal with. So I definitely wouldn't want to be on an island with her.
I can understand why for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, but so on the other hand, though, is there a character that you've played that, you know, I feel like that you could feel like you would be best friends with in real life, or somebody that really stuck with you?
Yeah, so I think Karen in Cheaters. So she was cute. She had her faults, like every human has their faults, but she was fun, and when she was in a professional setting, she was took herself very seriously, but actually on the outside of that, she had a lot of fun and tried to enjoy life, but also tried to keep the peace. You
Yeah.
know, she did have an affair, but people do have faults. So take that away, and I think that actually she was nice. She was
Yeah.
nice.
Absolutely. I can see why you would say that because,
Yeah.
like, you're right. Everybody has their faults, but she had way more redeeming qualities than she didn't. So,
Yeah, and she drank pints,
yeah,
like I drink pints. I'm like, come on, let's have a pint of beer. That's the type of person you want to be, you want to hang out with. Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. Um, okay. So, I really hate to end this because I'm having so much fun talking to you. Um,
It's been fun.
it really has. And
Yeah.
I really want to say thank you so much for being so open and honest. I feel like that makes you such a force, not just on screen, but in real life, because you make people feel something, and I know our readers are really going to feel this conversation in more ways than one. Like that's just your dynamic.
Thank you.
And I
That
love
means
that.
a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, it's definitely the truth. But before I let you go, there are two signature questions. Sorry, I said that signature questions that we
Okay.
always ask at Cool America. So no pressure. But
Mm.
what is something that you find cool about America?
America and people that live in America are so unapologetic about their success.
It's
And
true.
that is something that Brits, we apologize for everything. And we apologize for being successful. Americans don't. Americans own it. They own that they've worked hard. America owns that, like, yeah, I've got here because of my hard work, and you're unapologetic about it. And I think that is a great quality that the Brits lack.
Wow, that's a very interesting take. I,
Yeah.
I really like that. And so now, what is something you find cool about you that not everybody gets to see?
I'm a geek. I'm such a geek. I think it's cool. Maybe most people don't. So I'm such a geology geek. Like I'm really into rocks.
Oh,
I think that's cool.
I do too.
Your readers, your readers are going to be like, I'm sorry, what?
No way.
Yeah, I like mountains. I like volcanoes. I like rocks. I like the composition of rocks.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I do. I'm
It's a
surprised.
bit random, but it's still kind of cool.
I really do. I think it's definitely cool for sure. So I guess to wrap up, again, thank you for being so real and raw and just incredibly cool because
Thanks.
I do feel like you are everything that Cool America stands for. And I really cannot wait for people to get to see this side of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and catch the next conversation that everyone will be talking about. Only on Cool America Live.